My opinion on Turkey Alalshikh's presence in boxing so far. Just my opinion. Let's chat.
Push the weight and no flex. Flex the livest one in the section. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, things out. Full moon, motherfucker, change like a hoe. Nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the Mighty LDBC. I've been giving this some thought, and I'm a firm believer. I'm no journalist by trade. I love boxing. Boxing doesn't love me back, and the sport is what it is. It gives you great moments, and then you can't even enjoy the great moments because it's followed up by more foolishness as the world turns. Turki Alalshikh. This man has done a great thing so far. This man has from what I understand, he's a fan of the sport, and he definitely has deep pockets. He has the resources, and he got some things done at an event called Day of Reckoning. It was a super card by today's standards. For those of you that don't go back that far, do your research. Don King and Bob Arum used to throw super cards like this all the time. And I asked a question to the audience: which do they prefer? Do they prefer the sanctions or the Saudis? And at first, a lot of people say, the Saudis, because they're going to give us what we want. If the Sanctions and Bodies, if they feel it's more lucrative to keep certain guys from fighting each other, because fighter A for the IBF, for example, at whatever division generates X amount of revenue, and we can charge them sanctioning fees, it's in our best interest to keep him champion or keep her as champion for the longest amount of time, because that's an income source. And why put him in a unification or undisputed matchup when this fighter could potentially lose? Hence, we don't get what we want as consumers, and we are left fighting online, cursing each other out, ruining friendships. It's just a cluster schmuck of disrespect and foolishness, and we fall for this every time. And enter Turki, and he comes in with a real bag. This is not like the DAZN bag. I remember the argument back in 2014, 2015 was that DAZN was owned by some billionaire Russian, and he had endless amount of money, and Eddie Hearn was going to come over and take over boxing, and the emphasis was on the PBC. I remember this. I was on Facebook at the time. It was the stupidest argument, because I don't care how wealthy you are, including Turki Alalshikh. No person that owns a business does not run that business with the expectation of a return on investment. I don't care who you are. All right. So for those of you that think that the Saudis got involved in boxing just to throw money away, it sounds good. And as a fan, you're looking on it on the outside. You're looking in from the outside, and it seems too good to be true. And if that's your thought process, I'm here to tell you it is. All right. These are businessmen. This is why they're wealthy. Okay. This is why they're wealthy. And this is why they're so well respected. Don't think for 2 seconds that these guys are doing this for free. If they throw 100 million at it, you best believe they want to make at least 150 to 2 million back. You notice no one's asking about what the pay-per-view sales were for Day of Reckoning. There hasn't even been an argument. Because if you hated Wilder, you were quiet because you was a fan of AJ. Do you understand what I just said to you? Good. Now, I asked my audience, what do you prefer? Everyone said, oh, I prefer the Saudis. And let me just give you some food for thought. Now, we all know that the sanction and bodies really don't care about what we think. They do what's best for business. Now, to me, and I've never met Turki Alalshikh, and I'm being very careful how I word this. This gentleman, to me, it reminds me of a person that he's pretty much a kid in a candy store. And I say that respectfully. He's a kid in a candy store. Hey, man, you know, I got this money and I like boxing and I like what's going on. And I'm sure I can get these guys and their management companies to work together and we can get some things done. We can get some things done. And that Day of Reckoning, you saw people working together that you would never thought you'd see. You never thought you'd see AJ and Deontay in the same building. You never thought you'd see a stacked card like that. I saw a selfie with Eddie Hearn and Deontay Wilder. I said, what is going on here? It was just weird. All of this because this gentleman threw money. He threw a bag out there. Everyone ate. And no one's asking about pay-per-view sales. No one cared. No one cared, which is how it should be. But I want you guys to think about something. With the nonsense with Anthony Joshua aside, you already know how I feel. Next up, they're throwing money at Devin Haney. It is within Devin Haney's best interest to exercise his options over there. You know why? Because he's a champion. He's in high demand. They're trying to throw money at Abdul Tank Wahid to get that fight. There's an Al Heyman situation that they're gonna have to, discuss. So we don't know how that's gonna play out. But I want everyone to think about something. What happens within the next 2 to 3 years if we get all the fights that we want? If we get all the fights that we want, if we get the undisputed matchup between Bivol and Beterbiev, if we get 2 fights between Abdul Wahid and Devin Haney, and let's just say for the craps and giggles, AJ grows a set and fights Deontay. What next, y'all? What next? You see, it's a possibility that Turki Alalshikh is here for a good time, but not a long time. What if this is just a fad for him? And this is why I say this. Reading an article. In the article on Boxing Scene, and I'll put the link in the description if you care to read it yourself. He says, this is Turk. He says, I like to work. Alalshikh stated during a 19-minute question and answer session DAZN posted on his social media platforms and website Wednesday. He said, I like it for my country and for the trust of my King Salman. God bless him. And the trust of the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, for me. And I even have a personal situation and reason. I have a lot of health issues in the last 5 years, maybe. And this has made me want to do everything and to see it in my life. Al-Sheikh didn't divulge details related to his declining health, but his words shed light on perhaps why he was so insistent on staging the Day of Reckoning, December 23rd at the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Now, I want y'all to think about that. Think about what I just read to you. The link will be in the description. Think about what I just read to you. And I'm sure you've heard it. And I didn't see anybody mention this. He said it in the interview. It was quoted. I just read it to you. And that made me think, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This guy has a bag. The money will come later. No one's talking about the pay-per-view sales. I don't think it failed, because if it failed, you'd have heard about it. Right? Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, what? Where did it air? On DAZN? They don't air their numbers, right? Right. Weird stuff, right? Can anyone, is there anyone guessing? Calling Rick Glaser, who likes to make stuff up. Where's his sources? Where's Dan Raphael? Did it flop? Or what was going on? Does anyone care? Magically, no one cares, right? So this brother says declining health. It made me scratch my head. Declining health. Is there something going on with him that we don't know? Maybe he doesn't care about a return on investment. So again, when I asked you guys about which would you prefer, the sanctioning bodies or the Saudis? The average business, and I don't know much, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but the average business has 2 to 5 years to either feast or famine, live or die, succeed or fail. 2 to 5 years. You know what you're working with. Do you continue to keep your doors open, or do you close your doors? Something to think about. This man has decline in health, so he's going to swing some money around. It's up to the fighters to take it. But I have a suspicion that once this man sees everything he wants to see, when he's done with it, I don't know if everyone else in boxing, if anyone else in Saudi Arabia, I don't know if they care as much about boxing as this brother does. I don't know. But if you chose Saudis over the sanctioning bodies, what happens, God forbid, if he passes early? Or if he just says, okay, I've seen all the fights I want to see, I'm done. Like how a child playing with the toys, and then when they're done, they just put them down. And it's really not what you think. You buy your kid that toy, and they take the toy out the box, and they play with the damn box all goddamn day. And it's like, I bought this toy. Why is he playing with the box? Y'all know what I'm talking about. What happens when he's done? The sanctioning bodies are still going to be there. As a matter of fact, didn't Jai Opatai let go of a belt because he had to get that Day of Reckoning payday? So he has to go fight for that belt back. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been the IBF. I don't recall. I didn't report on it because, again, I don't want to be first with reporting on stuff. I want to let things marinate for a while before I speak on it. But he said, man, I had to get this payday. So he let go of a belt. He went through something. Look it up. He went through something with a belt. If you do that, we got to take the belt. He said, take the belt. I can't turn down this payday. This is on pay-per-view. I can't turn this down. I'll get that back. Go look it up, y'all. Look it up. So when this Saudi things, if it runs dry, then what? The sanctioning bodies are going to be there. Then what? What happens when the Saudi thing goes away? Basically what I'm saying is, and try and follow me on this. Basically what I'm saying is this. If this gentleman sees value and throwing a bag at you to get you in the ring to do something, my advice would be to you to go get it. Let me remind you guys of something. The reason why there's been no undisputed matchup, I spoke on this. Undisputed matchup at 175 between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. Mauricio Silly Man said, look, man, Beterbiev can fight Bivol, but they won't be fighting for our belt because of the Russian-Ukraine conflict. So the WBC said, we're not putting our title on the line. That's why they didn't fight. That was the last thing I read. But at this current junction, at this point, it's not about the belts over there. It's really not. If Turki Alalshikh says, yo, Bivol, Beterbiev, come over here and fight, I'll make up a belt for you guys. I'll make up a trophy for you guys. It's not going to matter. Whoever wins that, in our minds, we say, well, if Bivol wins, Bivol will be undisputed. If Beterbiev wins, Beterbiev is undisputed. And guys like Mauricio Silliman will be sitting there stupid because they won't have a hand in it. Take your stupid belt. The men fought, and Turki Alalshikh will probably put together he'll get a belt made of pure gold, and it'll be worth like $20 million itself. And one of those brothers will take it home. Hell, he'll give away two of them. Who knows? One made of gold, one made of platinum. And it'll be their biggest payday. It'll get watched. And Mauricio Silliman won't have a hand in anything. How far are they willing to go? And guess what? If Turkey gets out of the business of boxing in the next 2 to 3 years, or 2 to 5 years or whatever, and the fighters say, okay, I'm ready to get back in the rankings, what are the rankings going to do? What are they going to tell them? No, they need their business. So basically what I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, if this guy's throwing bread at you, go get your money. Because I don't think he's going to be here for a long time. That's the point of this video. He's in here for a good time, but not a long time. He's talking about decline in health and everything. Look, y'all need to go. If he's throwing money at you, if this gentleman sees value in you, go get your money. Tank, go get your money. Go get your money. You might have to leave Al alone on this one and go get your bread. Okay? You might have to leave Al alone to go get your bread and go fight Devin. I'm not taking no shots. I'm not clowning around. All right? Because you're going to mess around. This guy might get out the business. And then when you cowboy up and say, okay, I'm ready to fight Devin, you'll get the fight, but it won't be for what Turkey was going to give you up front. Saudi or the sanctioning bodies? The sanctioning bodies ain't going nowhere. For now, all you fighters go get your money. And at this point, you stick it to the sanctioning bodies unless they've been protecting you. If they've been protecting you, then hang out with the sanctions. But if you holding on to one of their belts and you've been inactive and you ain't got no mandatory until the summer of 2025, Teofimo, if you enjoy the protection of whatever sanctioning body you're holding the belt, and then stay over there. You know, franchise status if that's still around. All of these things. I think the Saudis are here just enough to shake things up. And if they see value in any of you fighters, go get your money. It might be the biggest payday you ever get. Go get your money. The sanctions and bodies are going to be there. But I don't think this fella's going to be around, whether God forbid, whether he passes or whether he says, okay, I done made 20 fights that I want to see and I'm just getting out. Go get your money while he's here. That's my point. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Bronx on deck.
Move!